Look, we can all forgive the non-native English speakers who make mistakes in English. Even those people who pretend to know English but really have to rely on these crappy apps in order to do so. But there's one group we shouldn't always forgive when they make mistakes. The native English teachers. Let's go.
I am in, on or at a helicopter. I am in a helicopter, but why?
If you can't move freely around, then you use in.
This is a classic error I have seen so many times from non-natives and, sadly, some natives also. He is saying that we use in when you can't move around the vehicle. But that's simply not true, because there are forms of transport that we say in and we can freely move around. A lift or an elevator, for example. And although we say in for cars, we don't say in for dodgems. We say on. In fact, we say on for every fairground ride, even those that we can't move around in. We say on an escalator, and yet we can freely move around on an escalator. There is only one thing that determines whether we say in or on when it comes to being transported in one way or another. The answer is in this video, and I really encourage you to watch it because it gives a full detailed explanation of when and why we use in and on with forms of transport. And if you are an English teacher, for God's sake, watch this video and learn the real reason why we use in and on for different forms of transport.
That's amazing! Jinx! We say jinx when two people say the same thing at the same time.
I've done some research on this video just to make sure that jinx is not used in this way in the part of the United Kingdom where this guy comes from. And I haven't found anything that indicates it is used differently in certain parts of the UK. Jinx is used as an indication of bad luck or a curse. And we say it when somebody says or does something that might bring bad luck to a future event. The key thing is that a jinx is an indicator of bad fortune in the future, and this man does not explain that at all in this video. But the interesting thing is, somebody left a comment after watching this video. They thought jinx meant bringing about bad luck. And his response was, yeah, it has that meaning also. And he is not the only person to use that excuse.
Bryce, I'm starving.
Well, that makes two of us.
What do you mean?
I mean, I agree.
That makes two of us does not mean I agree. When somebody says that makes two of us, it is a response to indicate that they are in the same situation and experiencing the same thing as the other person. It has nothing to do with agreement. And I actually wrote to these people and explained that to them. And the response I got from them was, I looked it up in a dictionary, and once again, both meanings are true. And that is simply not the case.
Hi guys, I'm at the post office and I'm queuing up. Now queuing up is a very common thing, we use it daily. It's a word we use a lot. In American they use line up, we use queuing up. So queuing up, I'm in a line of people, so queue up. Where have you been? I had to queue up in the post office.
I've come across this guy before, and there are many videos on this guy's social media platform that are questionable in their reliability, even though he says this.
I've got nearly 20 years experience now. I'm an expert in everything.
To queue up is when a group of randomly placed people come together to form a line in order to wait for something. One person can't queue up. One person can join the queue or simply to queue, but one person cannot queue up. And what this man is indicating is that one person can. And as a comment on this video, somebody asked, what is the difference between queuing and queuing up? And of course, he didn't answer.
By the way, the subway is called the subway in the US, and in the UK it's called the metro.
Well, this one is almost true. In certain parts of the UK, we do call it the metro. In my home city, for example, Newcastle, we call it the Tyne and Wear metro. But it would only take the smallest amount of research to know that in London, the subway is called the underground or the tube. So let me apologize to you on behalf of all my native English speakers for not doing the research they are supposed to do. Rest assured that before I make any video, including this one, I always research the information I have just to make sure that I'm not guessing or believe something to be true without having any evidence to support it. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye now.